Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and if there are any guests in here. After I got back from Cuba, I came across this book, Anita's Revolution. I had lunch with the author, who happens to be from Victoria. And what I learned, certainly in reading the book and talking to the author, is that whatever you might think of Fidel Castro, he had a legacy when it came to literacy. Many people don't realize that he said in 1961, in 1 year, we will eliminate illiteracy from Cuba. They had to marshal the forces of over 700,000 students and teachers to bring that about. But they did. I got to thinking, legacy. What's my legacy? What's your legacy? Am I going to leave a building like this? Am I going to leave a scholarship? What can I leave to my children and my grandchildren? Ideas, concepts, values. Well, I better take a look and see what those are. And not only that, it becomes very important to take a look at your ancestors and see what they brought and maybe what you picked up. All four of my grandparents were from Iceland, about 1880. So the very first thing that I pick up is, it's very important to know how to overcome adversity. If you're going to leave Iceland and you're going to end up in Victoria, overcoming adversity is one value that I want to pass on. My grandfather even went to the Klondike to be in the gold mining. Believe it or not, my father went up there in the 30s. And that's where I was born, in a little log cabin. And we would go from our place to the neighbor in dog sleigh. That brings me to another part of my values. I'm out to bring awareness to AADD. Very subtle disease. I first picked it up in Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Work Week. AADD, Adult Adventure Deficit Disorder. And that disease is creeping through our society. People are more interested in palliative care than they are in taking adventures. So when my grandson said, "Grandpa, let's go for a bike ride up past the Souk potholes and across the Souk River and down through the Souk Hills," I said, okay. 50 kilometers later, I knew that I'd contributed to his understanding of AADD no more. What's also interesting is my father was into fitness. He was into fitness and health before other people even thought about it. He was reading books from Bernard McFadden and Charles Atlas. And he would get up and walk on his hands across this room and back 2 or 3 times. That inspired me to want to be able to walk on my hands and to finally beat him. And I hadn't thought about it till just now. It happened right out there in that lawn. And that's a big lawn. I got better, he got older, and I finally got him. Okay, he was 65. But I consider that a value that I can pass on to my family. So what's your legacy? The key is you start listening to it now and align your actions with what you want to leave. Align them. And make sure that you're taking time to pass on ideas. Recently, my son said, well, let's do a bike trip around Cuba. Okay. If you're going to try to eliminate AADD, you must be prepared to take adventures. Jan just recently told me that she booked her trip to Kuala Lumpur. That's an adventure. But be prepared to take adventures. The only question I have is, I'm getting a handle on my legacy. What's your legacy? Think about it and take action.